Well, I write the book Dork Diaries, and it's kind of a coming-of-age book. It was inspired by my two daughters, and my daughter Erin is a co-author, and my daughter Nikki is illustrator, and they were very dorky girls growing up, and there was a little bullying going on a little bit too, so actually it was my daughters and their experiences that inspired Dork Diaries.
So we are about to hear from our author, Miss Renée Russell. And Miss Russell has written how many of our Dork Diaries books? I bet you know. How many of you have one or more of her? Oh my goodness gracious. This one belongs to my granddaughter, who will not speak to me if I don't get Miss Russell's signature on the book. But I have to say that I really loved reading this book. Miss Russell really captures the voice of young teens, from sleepovers to BFFs to the chicken dance to drama, and more drama. And the part that I loved the most, that really made me laugh but really was so smart, were the Miss Know-It-All letters and the advice. You really get into the minds of those kids. Good job. Good job. And I really could tell the kind of person Miss Russell was when I read that she is an attorney who says that she prefers writing dork books to legal briefs because she can't wear her pajamas and bunny slippers into the courtroom. She's my kind of writer. So with that, please welcome Miss Renée Russell.
Thank you, Carol. Okay, as you all know, I'm Rachel Renee Russell, and I'm really happy to be in Gaithersburg. Hi, Gaithersburg! Anyway, I've brought with me two special guests, and my first person I'm going to introduce, I call her dorky daughter number one, and that's my older daughter, Erin. And I'll tell you a little bit about Erin. Growing up, Erin was considered a dork, and kids kind of made fun of her and they bullied her a little bit. And that was probably because by 5th grade, she was the tallest kid in her class. She was taller than the football players and taller than all the basketball players. So kids called her a dork. But I think she grew up to be pretty, huh? What do you think? I'm her mom. I'm very biased. But anyway, I would say that Erin inspired me to write the Dork Diaries book. Again, they were given a hard time at school. They didn't fit in. She was super tall, and she towered over even all of the boys in her class. However, she was really smart, and she loved books, and she loved reading, and she loved drawing. So again, Erin was a part of the inspiration for my Dork Diaries book. I started Dork Diaries writing it alone, and I did book one by myself, book 2 by myself. Book 3, I was working on, and my publisher was so happy that you guys were buying the books, and the books were getting really popular, and they requested not 1 book a year, but 2 books a year. And they said, well, can you write 2 books a year? And I'm like, oh, of course I can. Yes, I can. I can do it. But deep down, I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to write 2 books a year by myself? So Erin, I graduated from University of Michigan and was working in Iowa as a mortgage loan processor. So one day she called me. She's like, oh, Mom, how are the books coming? I'm like, oh, really good. And I said, but I have one problem. And she's like, well, what's that, Mom? I'm like, I have to write 2 books per year, and there's no way I can write 2 books per year. And can you please quit your job and come and help me write Dork Diaries books? And guess what she said? Yes. She said yes. So Erin came on, and she's my assistant author, and she helps me with Dork Diaries books. And starting at about, you were what, 3.5, the green one? Yeah, at Dork Your Diary, Erin helped to start writing them, and she's worked on 3.5, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I think we're working on 8 right now. So, dorky daughter number 1, Erin. Say hi, Erin. Okay, thanks, Erin. We'll be hearing more from Erin. She's going to be doing a dramatic reading from our Dork Diaries number 5. Next is my dorky daughter number 2. And this is Nikki. Now, Nikki is the namesake for Dork Diaries. Our Nikki Maxwell is named after my daughter, Nikki. And her real name is Kimberly Nicole Russell, but we call her Nikki. And when I was writing the book, I did ask if I could borrow her name, and she's like, of course, Mom. So that's how Nikki Maxwell got her name. We named her after Nikki. Nikki graduated from University of Michigan in elementary education, and she had just landed a fantastic new job teaching third grade at an elementary school. And one day she happened to call me, and this was after my publisher wanted not 1 book a year, but 2 Dork Diaries books a year. So she called and said, oh, Mom, how are things going? Teaching is fantastic, and I love it. And I said, oh, I'm doing really well. I just have one problem. And she's like, what's that, Mom? And I said, I have to do 2 Dork Diaries books per year. And can you please quit your job and come and help me write Dork Diaries books? So I had already recruited an author, so I needed an illustrator. And again, Erin and Nikki are both fantastic illustrators. So I had asked Nikki to quit her job teaching and come and help me illustrate Dork Diaries books. And guess what she said? Yes, she said yes. So ever since book 3 for you? 2? Okay, I can't even remember. She has been helping with the Dork Diaries books, and now she's full-time illustrator. So she's given up her teaching for a few years. She's going to, she has been illustrating for me full-time, and I am so happy as a mom because I get to work with dorky daughter number 1 and dorky daughter number 2, Nikki. So that's my story of how the Dork Diaries series went from 1, me, Rachel Renee Russell, to include Erin, my older daughter, and Nikki, my younger daughter. I have 2 special people here with me today, and I'm going to introduce them. Then we're going to kind of get into the program and have a lot of fun. My mom is here today, and we call her Queen Dork. Stand up, Mom. And you can say, hi, Mom. Yes, and my mom came, okay, we're all originally from Michigan. I relocated to Virginia, Northern Virginia, Loudoun County, maybe about 4 years ago when I started working on the books full time. And we love it out here. There's a lot less snow. It's cold today, but in Michigan, this is considered like tropical weather compared to where we're from. So my mom came to visit with me 4 years ago, and she has stayed, and she's still visiting 4 years later, Mom. So I think, have you moved here? Oh, no, I'm just visiting, she says. So she's been visiting with me in Loudoun County, Virginia, from the state of Michigan for 4 years. So, and then I have my brother here. You stand up, Don. And you can say, hi, Don. Don. Okay. And I'm really thankful to Don and his twin brother, Ron, because they inspired me to write my very first book back when I was in about 5th grade, and it was called the Donnie and Ronnie book. And I cut it out with construction paper, and it was a birthday present for my twin brothers, Don and Ron. So he's out here today helping us lug suitcases and set up stuff and all that. So those are my 2 family members, my mom and my brother. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a dramatic reading from Erin. She's going to be reading from Dork Diaries book 5. Nikki is going to be dorkifying people, but I'm going to let her talk about that. We're going to play a really fun game, and then we're going to have a Q&A, and then we're going to be giving away some special artwork. After this, we do have a book signing, I think at the Politics and Prose book, and we have a lot of really cool stuff we're going to be giving away. Okay, it's down at the author signing pavilion. So today For all of you or those of you that can attend our book signing, we're giving away free mini posters. And this is Nikki Maxwell. Yeah, someone says squeak. Okay. And if you can hold that. And then for those of you who are into Brandon, we have free mini posters of Brandon. Yep, I'll let you hold that. So you have your choice. You can only get one or the other. But we also have stickers and bookmarks and a lot of cool things. And then we have a mailing list that you can sign up for the Dork Diaries fan club. And we'll send you birthday greetings and free stuff in the mail. So it's a little, as a matter of fact, I have one of them here. You want to, where'd that go? Oh, I'm sitting on them. If you come to our book signing, make sure you sign one of these. And this is something new we just started. It's our Dork Diaries fan club. And again, we'll send you birthday greetings and free stuff and insider information and secrets and all that good stuff. So we're going to have a lot of good things going on even after this. Okay, next I'm going to let Nikki talk to you a little bit about dorkifications and what that is all about. Want to use my microphone?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mommy. All right, everybody. Boy, are we excited to be here. Look at all of you dorkalicious people. Okay, so each time we do our little presentations, I do what we call dorkifications. When I do dorkifications, that means I randomly select people in the audience and I draw them in authentic Dork Diaries style. So throughout the presentation, I'll be over at my little notepad and I'm gonna take my magic marker and I'm gonna dorkify somebody at random out there in the audience. Now, I always say, so that it goes well with the presentation, you need to be quietly listening, paying attention, and pretend like I'm not even there. Okay? Are we ready? All right, let's get started.
Okay. Okay, next we're going to have a dramatic reading from our very talented, aspiring actress, Erin Nicole Russell. She's putting on her costume. And she'll be reading from Dork Diaries Book 5. Do you guys recognize the bunny ears from Dork Diaries Book 5? Who wore bunny ears in Dork Diaries Book 5? Just tell me the name. Chloe! Yes, Chloe wore bunny ears in Dork Diaries Book 5. And since she's reading from that, she'll explain all of this up and set it up.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know the story, it begins at a very festive time where you're partying, you're eating lots of cake and ice cream and pizza, and then you stay up till the wee hours in the morning. What holiday do you think this is? I will give you a clue. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! That's right. It was a New Year's sleepover. So Zoe, Chloe, and Nikki decided to play a daring game of Truth or Dare. And it was Nikki's turn to get a Truth or Dare. She's terrified of truth because she doesn't want to spill any embarrassing secrets about Brandon. So she decides to go for a dare. And Zoe has a good one for her. Zoe says to go to Mackenzie's house, who is the mean girl in school, and TP her trees. Now, don't try this at home. But let us begin our story as the girls sneak over to Mackenzie's house. Me. Just warming up. As we trudged through the snow to Mackenzie's house, it was pitch dark and eerily quiet. All we could hear was the crunching of snow underfoot and our heavy breathing. I had to resist the urge to turn around and run screaming back to my warm and safe sleeping bag. Finally, we reached Mackenzie's house, and it was just like I had remembered. ginormous. Suddenly, my stomach felt super queasy. Only, I didn't know if it was from all the junk food I'd eaten earlier that night, or the fact that I was very close to finally getting a meet and greet with some of my favorite rap artists who were doing time in prison as a fellow inmate. Yikes! Come on, let's get this done before somebody sees us, I shouted. Zoe took 6 rolls of toilet paper out of her backpack and tossed them to Chloe and me. Chloe and Zoe ran towards a huge tree on the left, and I ran towards one on the right. Then we frantically tossed the toilet paper over the branches until 2 trees looked like 2 towering 20-foot mummies. OMG, it was a rush. It was the most fun we'd had together since, yesterday. Suddenly, the porch light flickered on. Oh, crud! Somebody's coming outside! I shouted. Hide! We quickly dove into some nearby bushes and then cautiously peeked out. The front door opened, and we saw a figure walk down the sidewalk. Hurry up and go potty already, Fifi! It's freezing out here, said a very familiar voice. It was Mackenzie! Although her humongous yard had more landscaping than the city park, that stupid dog Fifi decided to piddle on exactly the same bush we were hiding in. OMG, we didn't move a muscle. We didn't even dare breathe. What's wrong, Fifi? There's nothing out here but bushes. Let's go back inside now. We breathed a collective sigh of relief. Whew. Then, without warning, Fifi darted under the bushes and lunged at us, barking like a rabid pit bull. Bark, bark, bark! Bark, bark! Bark, bark, bark! Ah! We screamed as we fell over each other, trying to scramble out of the bushes. Of course, we scared the juice out of Mackenzie. She gaped in horror and screamed even louder than us. Ah! Realizing that Mackenzie had actually seen our faces, we clung onto each other and screamed louder. Ah! Which freaked Mackenzie out even more and made her scream louder yet. Now this is where I need your help. 1, 2, 3. Very good. All of that barking, freaking, and screaming in the bushes went on for what seemed like forever. Ah! Ah! Bark, 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 bark. Chloe? Zoe? Nikki? Mackenzie finally sputtered. OMG! You guys nearly scared me to death. What are you doing here in the middle of the night? Would you believe we were taking a little walk and got lost in your bushes? I asked. No, I wouldn't, she said, folding her arms and glaring at us. I didn't think so, I muttered. Well, it was nice chatting with you, but we really must be going. Not so fast. You have some explaining to do. Why are you snooping around my house? And why is the Easter Bunny here on New Year's Day? Hey. Oh, I'm sorry. Chloe, Zoe, and I just stared at the ground. Hey. I may be a coward, but at least I'm an honest one. I felt morally obligated to tell Mackenzie the truth. We're sort of in the middle of toilet paper in your house, I stammered. You are what? Mackenzie turned around and finally noticed the streamers of toilet paper dangling from her trees. To be continued.
Very good. Thank you. Hey, thank you, Aaron. And that was Dork Diaries, Book 5. And it's the blue book here. So if you want to hear the rest of the story, you can check it out at your library or purchase one of your own. Again, thank you, Erin. Okay, next we're going to hear from Nikki, and Nikki is going to tell you a little bit about our Dork Diaries artwork and the types of styles that we use in Dork Diaries book series. Ready? Okay. Do you want me to turn that around, or you want to just rock and hold them up for you?
Could you please hold each one up for me, Mommy? Thank you. Okay, so as you may already know, there are 3 different types of styles I draw Dork Diaries in. There is real life, that's one style. The second style is stick figure. And the third style is comic strip panel. Let's take a look at each. Mommy, will you please begin with the one at the very back? Yes, please. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is real life. This is the most realistic style I draw Nikki in. You can see all 5 fingers when the hands are shown. The eyes are nice and detailed, and so is the hair. This is basically as realistic as Nikki gets. Next is, yes ma'am, that's the next one. Next is comic strip panel. Comic strip panel is basically stick figures drawn in boxes. And when you look at the boxes in order, starting from the top right, but looking at your book, it's the top left, you follow it across and on down, and it tells a story. And you can see what's happening here. She's trying to get some breakfast, but apparently the milk's been left out overnight, so she might need to just have a granola bar or something. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. One of my favorites is stick figure style. That's basically taking the illustrations right out of the comic strip panel and putting them in their own separate little page. This is where I draw Nikki in this really silly style. Stick figure. I used to doodle in stick figure all the time as a kid, and that's where I got the idea from. So Nikki's hands look like mittens, and she has little dots for eyes. It's a silly, zany little fun style that reminds me of my childhood. All right, so now I am going to see what you have learned from each style I just told you about. Let's go through each and see if you can guess which one it is. Here we go. You can start with these 2, then we'll go through the other ones again. All right, this is the first one. What kind of style is this, everybody? Yes, you've got it. It's stick figure style. Good job. Ah, okay. How about this one? What is this? Oh, you got it. Yeah. Very good. It's realistic. Okay. What do we have next? What is this? You're taking the words right out of my mouth. You're absolutely right. It's comic strip panel. And last but most certainly not least. Yes, it's stick figure style. My goodness, you all are some very smart dorks. We'll trade. Thank you, Mommy.
Okay, thank you, Nikki. Okay, as most of you know, and I think I explained it a few minutes ago, Dork Diaries was inspired by Dorky Daughter number 1 and Dorky Daughter number 2. And again, in school, they didn't always fit in. And when I decided to write a book, as authors or aspiring authors, they always tell you to write what you know, write what you're really passionate about. And I thought, well, I'm a mom, and I raised 2 drama queens, 2 very dorky drama queens. So if I'm going to write a children's book, maybe I should write about my 2 dorky daughters. And that's what I did. So Dork Diaries is inspired by my 2 daughters, and a lot of the scenes and the plots and the drama that occurs in Dork Diaries actually happened in real life. So how many of you out there don't quite fit in and would maybe call yourselves dorks? Raise your hand if that's you. Yeah, I'm very old, and I still consider myself a dork. So we're going to play a really fun game now, and Erin's going to do that for us. And again, as you're reading Dork Diaries, I would say probably about 80% of what you're reading in Dork Diaries is true, and it actually happened, if not to Aaron, Nikki, and I've even put some of the stuff from my old, it wasn't middle school, it was junior high when I was back in school. So a lot of what you're reading is based on real life. Some of the things, we just make up to make, for an interesting book or a funny book, but a lot of it is true and a lot of it actually happened. Can you imagine living through a lot of that stuff in Dork Diaries? So we're going to play a really fun game, and I'm going to let Aaron do that. And again, you're going to have to determine whether what you're hearing happened to real life to either Aaron, Nikki, or myself, or if it's just a interesting scene that we made up and placed in the book.
Sorry, guys. I'm just hoping I don't have a dorky moment. I'm a little wobbly in heels, so cross your fingers for me. All right. Now, you guys get a little bit of exercise today. We're going to have you hear a statement, and I want you to stand up if you think it's true, or sit down if you think it's false. So, here's the first one. Someone tripped me in the cafeteria, and I dropped my lunch tray. Food went everywhere. Do you think it's true or do you think it's false? The answer is true. Very good. This is something that happened to me. Like I said, big klutz. In middle school, I started a rock band and we won several talent shows. If you think it's true, stand up. If you think it's false, stay seated. A brave one. And you're right. It's true. This actually happened to my mom, my very talented prodigy mother. She started a rock band with her two sisters, and they were very successful. Number 3. I wanted a phone of my own so badly that I put a huge payphone in my locker at school. You think it's true or do you think it's false? That would be kind of hard to do, Lockers are so skinny. It's false. Good job. Someone sprayed water at me at the drinking fountain, and I ended up soaking wet. Do you think this is true or false? It's true. Good job. This is something that happened to my sister, unfortunately. Number 5. Me and my best friends once took a helicopter to school. Do you think it's true or do you think it's false? False. I wish. Number 6. I once got my tongue stuck on a freezing cold ice cream maker. If you think it's true, stand up. If you think it's false, stay seated. It's true. And this is something that happened to my uncle, I believe. Well, very good. As my sister said, you're some really smart dorks.
Okay, now we're going to open it up for question and answer. So if you have a burning question that you would like to ask either myself, Aaron, or Nikki, raise your hand. And I'm thinking maybe the best way to do it is if you have a question, why don't you line up here, and then I'll be able to hand the microphone for you. Yeah, maybe line up that way. We'll make, the young lady here will be number 1, and then and then we'll try to get through as many of them as we can. Let me see the best way. Okay, and then why don't you stand up here, come up here, dear? Yeah, okay, thank you. And if you can tell us your name?
Leah.
Okay, hi Leah, how are you doing? Good, and then your question and who it's for.
Did Nikki have a boyfriend named Brandon? Or
Okay, the question was, did Nikki have a boyfriend named Brandon?
Oh, aren't you cute, little dork on your shirt? Yes. Unfortunately, no. I didn't have an adorable gentleman in my life named Brandon, maybe one day, but I can most certainly say there is someone who admired a guy and kind of felt that way.
Okay, we'll let Aaron answer that question.
I was notorious for having super crushes in elementary school. So my family knew everything about them, first name, middle name, social security number. They knew everything because that's all I talked about. So I wish I had a Brandon, but it's inspired, Nikki's feelings are inspired by my big crushes.
So the answer to your question is Aaron was our inspiration for Brandon. Okay, thank you. And let me put this here away. Okay, dear, and your name?
Morgan?
Morgan. Hi, Morgan. How are you doing? And your question?
When you write your books, do you wear pajamas and bunny slippers?
When I write my books, do I wear pajamas and bunny slippers? Yes, I do. And Aaron and Nikki gave me this red fuzzy it's not a gown, it's a kind of a house coat thing. It has a big long zipper and it has Yorkies all over it. And I have a Yorkie named Mika. So I love to write in my fuzzy house coat with the Yorkies all over it and usually red fuzzy warm slippers. So that's what I've been writing in like the last month or so. So yes, I do write in weird pajama type attire. Okay, thank you, dear. Your name?
Elena.
Elena, and your question?
When did you first start your stuffed animal collection?
When did I first start my stuffed animal collection? I probably started that in about 3rd grade, I think. Yep. Do you have a stuffed animal collection too, or good? When did you first start your stuffed animal collection?
When I was a baby.
Oh, when you were a baby. Okay, very good. Thank you, dear. Okay, and your name?
Audrey.
Audrey, and your question?
I have 2 questions. The first one is, would you call your daughters like Nikki and Brianna, or would you think they're different than the characters?
Yes, that is an excellent question, and yes, I would call my daughters Nikki and Brianna. This would be Nikki Maxwell, and this would be Brianna. So yes, yeah, my 2 daughters did inspire those 2 girls. And your second question?
Do you still make useless crafts like ovens out of Popsicle?
Yes, I love useless crafts. Yes, and I don't have a lot of spare time to do useless crafts, but I still enjoy it very much. My mom does too. So we're both useless craft addicts. Thank you, dear. Your name?
Natalie.
Hi, Natalie.
Hi. This is for Nikki. Did you actually do the Michael Jackson Thriller song instead of the ballet?
Oh my goodness, that'd be so hilarious if I did. You know what I can admit I did? Well, do you know what karaoke is? I sang Michael Jackson's Beat It to karaoke.
Okay, thank you, dear. And we have...
My name is Dalen.
Hi, Dalen. How are you doing?
Did Nikki actually cut off a chunk of Aaron's hair?
I believe we made that up, right? Yeah, that was when we were trying to make an interesting story. So no, that did not happen. Of the 100% of things in our book, 80% is true. That is part of the 20% that we just made up for fun. So yeah, thank you, dear. And your name?
Paige.
Hi, Paige. How are you doing? Good. And your question?
How many books are you planning to make?
I plan on writing Dork Diaries books as long as you guys keep reading them. So hopefully there'll be many, many more. I can add this real quick. The film rights to Dork Diaries was recently purchased by Lionsgate. Woo! And this is Lionsgate of Twilight fame, Hunger Games, and then they just did Divergent, I believe. So they're going to be doing Dork Diaries in the next year or two. So with the movie coming out, I'm sure we'll, have a few more books, down the line. So good question. And?
My name is Jordan.
Hi, Jordan. How are you doing? Good. Okay. And?
I have 2 questions.
Sure.
On the back of Dork Diaries 1, what does it mean, Mackenzie, if I flush, will you go away?
Oh, if I flush, will you go away? That is Nikki Maxwell saying that Mackenzie's kind of like something in a toilet, and she would flush to go away. Oh, I know, gross. Okay.
Second question is, can you please give me Dork Diaries 7?
You know what? I can let you look at Dork Diaries 7. How about that? And this is Dork Diaries 7! Here. I will let you go to your seat and you can look at it, okay? But we need it back. Yeah, that's my only copy. But is this like golden and sparkly? Isn't it wonderful? And it's Dork Diaries Book 7, Tales from a Not-So-Glam TV Star. It will be on sale June 3rd. You can pre-order it, which means go home and beg your mom and dad to run out to the store and pre-order it or pre-order it online. But it's gold and sparkly, and it's Dork Diaries Tales of a Not-So-Glam TV Star. And the producer from Dork Diaries Book 3 has contacted Nikki, and he wants her to record the song. Her dork song, and we pick up in book 7 with the producer coming in town, and they start filming a reality show. How exciting is that? So that's what Dork Diaries book 7 is all about. And we're going to have that book at the book signing too, so everybody can take a look at it and touch it and open it up at the book signing. We'll be doing a little bit later on. So how are we on time? Yeah, okay, I think we have 1 more minute. Okay, we'll take 1 more question. All of you guys that are, 10 minutes. Oh, okay. Okay, great. So we'll be able to get a few more questions in. Okay, step on up, dear. And your name?
Helen.
Hi, Helen. How are you doing? Good. I don't want to stand in front of Aaron. Let's go over here. You come over here. I don't want to stand in the way of Aaron. Okay, Helen, and your question?
What is your favorite Dork Diaries books that you have written?
Okay, my favorite Dork Diaries book. Good question. My very favorite is probably book 1, because that was the first one, and that kind of started all of this. My second favorite book is always the newest one. So it was book 7, because I was writing it, and now I would say it's book 8. So it's always number 1, and then it's always the latest book I'm working on. Okay, thank you. Come on up.
Where did he get diary?
Have your name, please, sir?
Oh, Gabriella.
Okay, hi, Gabrielle.
Where did he get the diary part of Dork Diaries?
Where do we get the diary part of Dork Diaries? Well, Dorky Daughter number 1 has always had a diary. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, Aaron, at all? No? Okay, I won't make you if you don't want to. But yes, Erin had a diary, and she wrote in it day and night. So the inspiration for Nikki Maxwell's diary would come from Erin. Nikki was our doodler, and Nikki would doodle on her walls of her bedroom and just everywhere. So Erin kept a diary in which she wrote a lot of her feelings and things that were...
It kind of makes you wonder, how did she know?
Yes. And Nikki drew in her diary, and I don't know how I knew. I'm just guessing. It's not like I've been sneaking. You think I'm sneaking around reading your diary? Oh my gosh. I'm not that kind of mom. Okay, thank you, dear. See what it's like working with these two? You're getting a little taste of it. Come on up, dear. And your name?
Isabella.
Hi, Isabella. And your question?
It's for Erin and Nikki. Do either of them have daughters that have like dork personalities like them?
Okay. Did you hear a question? Okay. You can repeat it and then answer it. Yes.
Her question was if we have any daughters who are like Nikki Maxwell, dorks. Is that correct? Well, I recently got married, so I don't have any children yet, but hopefully they will turn out dorky.
Yeah, and Nikki Nikki's single and no children at all either. Do you want to say something?
But maybe one day, and they'll be dorky too, but capital D-O-R-K.
Okay, and next. And your name, please?
Sienna.
Sienna, and your question?
Where did the character Mackenzie come from?
Where did the character Mackenzie come from? And I'm going to let Erin answer that. Dorky daughter number 1.
She who shall not be named. The girl who lived across the street from us was really, really mean. And she had a lot of friends, like an entourage. And every time Nikki and I walked to the bus stop, they would all just talk really bad. And that went on for a couple of years, like through elementary school and middle school. So she is Mackenzie to the T.
So yes, Erin had a mean girl in her life, and that girl was our inspiration for Mackenzie. Okay, next, come on up. And your name?
Una.
Una. Hi, Una. How are you doing?
Good. My question is, did Nikki's dad, was the cockroach van real?
Okay, good question. Nikki and Erin's dad is a dentist, so his vehicle was not as cool as the roach van. So that is something that we made up. Nikki's dad is an exterminator, but in real life, Erin and Nikki's dad is a dentist. So. Okay, thank you. Okay, next. And your name?
Nev.
Nev, how are you doing, Nev? Good. And your question?
Did Nikki do ice skating?
Did Nikki do ice skating? Okay, I have 5 minutes to. In real life, Nikki, you mean this Nikki? Okay, Nikki was not like really good at it, but she would like go out and skate around. And you want to answer it?
Okay, I do a little bit of ice skating, and then I do a little bit of roller skating. Now, I wasn't necessarily a pro, but the funny thing about that was Mom got to turn that into a book, because Nikki Maxwell is not necessarily a pro either, but she still does a great job at the very end. And skating is fun, too.
Okay, next. Your name?
My name's Lauren.
Lauren, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Well, who are the actors in the movie?
Okay, I think they're in the process of still selecting the producer, and I think the producer is the same lady that made Alvin and the Chipmunks. I forgot her name, but if you go look up producer for Alvin and the Chipmunks, it's a young lady, and that's who they're trying to recruit. Once they get the producer on board, then the producer will start selecting the actors. So we don't know quite yet, but I'm excited about it. Okay, and your name, dear?
Jaylene.
How are you doing, Jaylene?
Good. First of all, I want to say I love your Dork Diary books.
Thank you.
And then my question, how did you get the idea of Brandon?
Okay, I will let Erin answer that. Who inspired Brandon?
Well, specifically, there was this boy named Jared, and he was a senior when I was a freshman or sophomore. And so every time he walked by, my heart would flutter and I'd want to throw up in a good way. So yeah, it came from a big crush of mine.
Okay, thank you. And next we have
Journey. I have 2 things to say. The first thing, my older brother's name is Jared.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh. You guys aren't from Michigan, are you?
Second, is Chloe and Zoe real? Nikki's friends, are they real?
Okay, is Chloe and Zoe real? I can answer that. Yeah, Chloe and Zoe are in fact real, and yes, they are. And Chloe and Zoe, I would say, are both inspired from the real friends that Nikki actually got. You know, 2 girls are really cool, and they were dorky, and they admired her, and they were dorks. And same thing with Erin. Erin ultimately got 2 really good BFFs that were as dorky as her, and they both all got along well. So yes, they are inspired by real people. Okay, next. I think we're going to probably take one more after you, dear, and then we're going to be able to wrap it up. Okay, and your name?
Maddie.
Okay, hi Maddie, how are you doing?
Good. My question is, how old was Brandon when you wrote the first book?
Okay, how old is Brandon? Brandon's the same age as Nikki, and I think Nikki's is she 13 or 14? You guys probably know better than I. 14. So Brandon's about 14 too, because they're all in the same grade. So in the book, Brandon is 14. The real Brandon that inspired the book, I think, was probably a senior in high school, I think. Okay, we'll take one more question, and then we're going to do the dorkifications. Okay?
My name is Sydney. My question for you is, how do you feel when you write the Dork Diary books?
How do I feel when I write the Dork Diaries books? They're a lot of fun, and I usually am laughing and chuckling and giggling because they make me laugh. And if they make me laugh, hopefully they'll make the reader laugh. Sometimes it gets to be kind of stressful, though, because we have to do 2 a year, and we have to work really hard and make a lot of deadlines. But overall, it's a very, very good experience, and I love my job. So thank you, dear. Okay. Okay, we're going to probably take another minute or two just to give out our dorkifications, and then we'll be all done.
All right. Yes, please. So here we go with our dorkifications. All right, this first one belongs to a young lady who was in a sparkly pink headband and braids. Is she still here? Oh goodness, did she wander off somewhere? Okay, well we'll just keep it for her then. All right. This next one belongs to a young lady in a light purple hat, little cap, and a striped shirt. Come on up and get your dorkification, my dear. Okay. Yep. Okay, this next one belongs to someone who's seated right here in the front. Come on up and get your picture. Okay. I love to do gentlemen too. And this one belongs to a gentleman who is seated in back wearing an Adidas jacket. Is he still here? Okay. Why don't we move on to the next one? This belongs to a young lady in the most dazzling gray cap. Can you see it, my dear? Come on up and get it. It's yours. And last but most certainly not least, this one belongs to the gentleman seated right up front here with the hockey shirt on. Come and get your picture. All right, so unfortunately we've reached the end of our dorkifications. That's always the saddest part for me. But the good news is we will be signing your books over at our author table, and I'll be happy to place a little illustration inside your book when I sign it. So you'll be able to get a signature from Mommy, my sister Erin, and me with a little doodle inside. Hope to see you there.
Okay, thank you guys.